Now our GS1100E is a true survivor. I've owned it since it's new. It's got historic plates. We baby it like it's a princess, and then we go ride the wheels off it. I've really put a lot of time into keeping it as authentic and as clean and neat and mechanically correct as possible. Now we wake up today and it's just an absolutely beautiful day outside. It's going to go into the mid-70s by lunchtime. It'll be just a beautiful day for motorcycling. It's the kind of day I look forward to in the middle of the winter when I'm freezing, and in the middle of the summer when I'm really sweating and cooking. This is the one that's right in the middle, and you can enjoy every minute of it. Now, and I know this is funny to people that have a nice big garage and all kind of ease of moving motorcycles around. But anytime I want to ride a bike, it seems like it's always in the back, and I always have to move bikes around. But that's part of the good exercise you get, having a small garage and a big motorcycle collection. A baby motorcycle collection.
And this time of year, the yard really starts to look nice. It's really a pleasure working out in the yard. And of course, sitting on those lawn chairs.
I wish I could have a roundhouse like they have for train locomotives, that you could just turn it, and you know, out of the door would come the exact right bike. Unfortunately, the garage is just a little bit too small, and that's really the reason I don't buy any more motorcycles, to be honest. Now as I'm moving bikes around, imagine here's bikes that are 38 years apart, and imagine here you had air-cooled, liquid-cooled, disc brakes, ABS, quick shifter, no quick shifter, a lot of safety features, but they're both great bikes. Okay guys, don't fight, don't fight. Come on, you want to ride today, you got to eat. Now as I'm pre-flighting the bike here and checking the air and the tires and the usual things, get the bike clean, of course. I'm planning out the route in my mind, and a couple of new roads I want to try today. Haven't gone down them in quite a while, and there's always something new I haven't seen the time before. It's amazing on a motorcycle, the things you see, the smells. And in the case of today's ride, we came across some Mr. Ed out with the horses, and it was a lot of fun. Every time we go out on the bike, it's always a great time. And I enjoy a bike the most when it's nice and clean, when I know it's been pre-flighted correctly, and every step of the way, then every mile I'm away from home, I'm not thinking, oh, did I check that? Did I check that? And then that's a thing with a 40-year-old motorcycle. Every once in a while you find something a little loose, something that needs to be tightened or whatever. And it's always in your favor to treat the motorcycle like an airplane and pre-flight it and grab things and move them a little bit. And again, it's free to do that.
Final check of the weather, absolutely beautiful. Couldn't be any nicer.
And as I left the house, the weather was just exceptional. That rare little valley of time where it's not too cold, not too hot. There was a little bit of wind blowing. Maybe we will get to check that wind slayer out that Oscar gave us, but an absolutely beautiful motorcycling day. I'm going through some of the residential areas, I'm so glad this bike is not annoyingly loud. Every time I hear one of the annoyingly loud bikes go down Route 21 right by my house, I think, boy, oh boy, how lucky I am not to have to deal with that. And today, taking into account the weather, it was just absolutely perfect. Now, I've had several sets of Michelin Commanders on this bike, and in between I tried other brands of tires, and believe me, I totally prefer the Michelin Commanders, and it's hard to describe the improvement, especially the front tire. Makes a big difference in how the bike handles. And every time I post up a GS video, I get loads of comments from people that had one, people that knew somebody that had one, how much they enjoyed having the one they had, they're sorry they sold it, and that one thing we all kind of agree on, it's a really beautiful bike, even 40 years later. And if you don't like doing maintenance on a motorcycle, this is one of the bikes to think about. Easy maintenance, easy everything, and you don't even need most of the stuff. And it comes apart very easily. The only exception is if you have to take the carburetors off, it gets to be a little tricky. And those EBC rotors and the steel brake lines from Joe Padula, and by the way, thank you, Pokey, for the discs. Those upgrades that I just did over the last winter, they have proven to be worth their weight in gold. Having that real good front brake, really good. And when I finished painting the wheels last winter and I had the orange stripe matching that word Suzuki on the tank, Karen helped me get that paint an exact match. Boy, when you put the bike out in the sun, that little thin red stripe is just, I think that is just a nice little custom touch. So I took a break to take some pictures of the horses. And as I'm doing it, the horses are walking around, coming over to look at the bike. I didn't want to scare them. I wonder if you pull up here with a loud sport bike, you might scare them. Not this bike, though. No, I had extreme good luck today. I cannot put the Valentine radar detector on this bike. But I have a sixth sense now of where they seem to hide. And I said, no, I think I'll slow down a little, and came up over the top of the hill. And there they were. Now, I've never found anybody that makes a quick shifter for this bike, but if anybody out there knows of where you can get one, please send me the link. And one of the few disappointing parts of the whole day is at the end of the ride. Near the end of the ride, I top off the tank at my local gas station usually. And today is the first day high test gas is officially over $6 a gallon. But the good news is you get relatively good mileage with this bike, way over 45 miles a gallon anytime I've checked it. And if you ride it conservatively, you might even get more. And all good things must come to an end. It's time to head back to the farm. I know Karen will have some nice iced lemonade today, and my grandson's coming over after school, and we have his favorite flavor of ice cream. Actually, it's my favorite flavor. He just goes along for the ride. But anyway, this was a wonderful ride on a wonderful 40-year-old GS Suzuki. Karen, you just get home? Hey, I beat you. I get home just before them. Oh. What a super nice day. Oh, GS never disappoints. Unbelievable. Found some new roads today we hadn't been on before. He is a true survivor. I don't know how to explain it to people that don't have that feeling. You own a motorcycle for 40 years, and he's been a good friend. He really is a good friend. I think most people that have one that they've had for 40 years, they consider it a good friend. At least I do. So it's time to get ready, get the ice cream out. That's at the end of a great ride like this, to have your grandson come over and take care of a nice serving of ice cream. When my grandson stops here, he walks here on the way back from school. This is his favorite snack, Hudsonville malted milk ball ice cream. Ooh. How good is this? Check it out. Malted milk ball ice cream. Mommy said you could have a Hudsonville today. She didn't say. Don't tell her. You got to learn not to tell Mommy everything. So a really nice day ended on a real positive note. Sharing a quart of ice cream with my grandson. He ate 2/3 of it, I think. That Hudsonville ice cream is pretty good. It's like the GS1100 of ice creams. Anyway, looking back over the day, we found some new roads I enjoyed. I'll be going back to them. And I try to do a little exploring, but I always like to know when I'm riding a bike that I can't put the radar detector on. I always have to just be a little more conservative, and it's just as much fun anyway. But this bike, 40 years now, I'm so glad. I was tempted at times to trade it up or sell it or whatever, and I never did. I'm a faithful follower of the GS1100.